I make this chicken on average about once a month, and what makes it and the gravy so flavorful is how it's cooked.
This is the perfect spice rub to use for turkey and chicken, and it makes a perfect gravy with no additional seasoning.
I honestly roast chickens just to have this gravy. The only thing that you have to do is make this simple chicken rub, and the chicken just bastes itself. Mix together 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, 3 tablespoons of softened butter, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of dry sage, 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, 1 teaspoon of dried rosemary, and 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. Then whisk together until smooth. The rub measurements are perfect for a 6 to 9 pound chicken. Just double it for a 10 to 13 pound turkey, etc. Carefully rinse the chicken or turkey, trying not to splatter bacteria. Remove the giblets. In this case, the neck is still attached, but sometimes, like in this one, the neck, liver, heart, and gizzards may be put inside, and sometimes they're put in a bag. I'm discarding these, but I used to work at a place where the livers and the gizzards were cooked, so it's up to you whether you'd like to save them and find some recipes. And now is a good time to pause with a reminder to sanitize everything after the chicken or turkey goes into the roaster. Okay, enough of that. Let's get this going. Pat the bird dry and rub the butter and herb mixture all over the outside, under the skin, being careful not to tear it, and inside the cavity. Don't forget to get the underside and those wings and drumsticks. To insert the roaster rack in the correct position, swing the handles upwards so that the wire feet will keep the chicken or turkey from touching the bottom of the roaster, and so that you can lift the bird out when it's done. I do not trust the legs, and this is so they will roast at the same internal temperature on the inside. Then calculate 15 minutes per pound. You can use the dial oven safe thermometers like the ones on the left and leave them in while roasting. If using the instant read thermometers like the ones on the right, do not leave them in. Test the temperature when your chicken or turkey has about 15 minutes until your calculated time, and it could be done because it's going to cook as it rests. Just try it. Cover loosely with aluminum foil if you'd like. Leave any of the thermometers in and just watch the temperature rise. It goes really fast. And this way you will have a juicy chicken or turkey. I could go on about how food scientists and chefs prefer lower temperatures when kept for that certain length of time, but I don't want to confuse matters. If you want to read about this, a good source is The Food Lab. It's not a cookbook, it's food science. I'll put the link below. And here's the delicious and perfect chicken that's self-basted. The top skin is juicy, not dry. The breast will be a higher temperature than the leg, which is why cooking flat would have been more even. But check the temperature in the fattest part of the leg or drumstick. Slowly pull it out, watching the temperature, and go by the lowest temperature. You would want to use your instant read thermometer. I'm sorry that I didn't tape that part. To see what I do with some of this chicken, come back here for a chicken and dumplings recipe that I have made for years. Let it rest 10 to 15 minutes while you make the gravy. Gather all of the juices in a measuring cup, and we'll be adding store-bought chicken broth to equal 4 cups. If you're making a turkey, you could use vegetable broth. If you do not have a full cup of natural juices from the roasted bird, you could add about 1/4 cup water, but not broth because the drippings are more condensed. You'll notice that I do not use a fat separator, but you will see how smooth it is, and it doesn't taste fatty. It tastes like natural juices. If you need to make diet gravy, you could skim the fat off of this and then use 3 tablespoons of it instead of the butter to make the roux. To make the roux, melt 3 tablespoons of regular salted butter. Over medium heat, gradually add 1 tablespoon of flour, stirring constantly for about 1 minute to cook off the flour taste. Slowly add about 1/2 cup of broth, whisking quickly until smooth. Then slowly add the rest of the 4 cups of broth, whisking until smooth. Taste, and if the flavor is too intense, add water and reduce. Then just continue to whisk until thickened, but not the consistency of thick gravy. It will thicken when it cools from hot to warm enough to serve. And you want it to be thinner and flow over the meat beautifully. Then just pour through a strainer into your serving bowl or gravy boat. Just wait until you taste this. I think you're going to get as addicted as I am. To carve a chicken or a turkey, cut off the legs and thighs, then the wings, and they are so tender they'll just come off easily. This isn't like breaking down a raw chicken. The meat will also just fall off the bone. So if you're shredding this for my chicken broccoli cheese soup that you're seeing up here at the top right, this would be great for that. It will just shred beautifully. Even this chicken breast that was resting for 15 minutes at 180 degrees is still succulent. Look how tender, juicy, and still hot it is. You can break the wishbone to see who has to do the dishes. I couldn't believe this was 50-50. Then smother your chicken or turkey with the outstanding gravy. It is absolutely delicious gravy. It's all surprisingly simple.
And you gotta make this.
To see all of my videos, don't forget to click subscribe.